I love what Pastor Chris does. I have Eben coming from the Chris place. I have Moses Bliss that came from Pastor Chris. These children.
Hello my family, welcome again to Direct TV, bringing to the truth. Welcome guys to this special episode of my video guys. And right in today's video, I'm here with the man of God by person of Prophet Joshua Iginla, and he's going to be talking about the man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris. But that is not the main point, alright? Although he's going to be mentioning the man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris, but he was addressing one of the things that is going on in the body of Christ, and why the body of Christ really needs to each other to function, all right, and addressing men of God particularly about the fights that men of God throw on themselves in the name of revelation. So you're going to listen to this and you're going to learn a lot. And this is, if you're a man of God listening to this message, this is for you, all right, and you need to listen to what he's saying, because he isn't saying it in a bad manner but addressing it in love. All right, so before we dive into the video guys, for those of you coming very newly to my channel, just kindly hit the subscribe button, subscribe, and if you have not liked the video, please hit the like button, like to this video guys, and then let's watch the man of God, Prophet Joshua Iginla, and I will be right back. Watch this.
God nominated us, but we denominated ourselves. And the division is one of the reasons why the body of Christ is not as powerful as she ought to be. You find out that the reason why most men of God are dying prematurely is because we are not helping one another. And that's why we are in a generation where we need to understand that connecting to help one another. There are things I can do as a man of God that other men of God cannot do. There are things that other men of God can do that I cannot do. We need each other in the body of Christ. So sometimes some of these battles we go through as men of God is as a result of empty pride. I think my church is bigger than your church. I think you are a minor prophet, I'm a major prophet, or you're a major prophet, I'm a minor prophet. I have a big church, you have a small church, you have a small church, I have a big church, I am more anointed. All this empty ego that will not take us to heaven. When you talk about envy, it's one of the things that is killing the grace of God in this end time. The Bible says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. I have never seen a generation that envy one another like pastors. I'm sorry, I'm not taking a sweep on women of God. I'm including myself. The generation that envy one another is either people in the word-based ministry against the prophets. Is either those in the prophetic ministry against the word-based ministry. Is either some people are trying to say we are genuine, they are not genuine. There are people who just believe that if you prophesy, you are not genuine. Because they believe that they can't do what some of us in power ministry are doing. In fact, in my early days of growing up in the faith, I had sometimes some men of God take a sweep on me and call me all sort of name. And so that when I see this man of God who take a sweep on me and call me all sort of name, I ask myself, these are people who preach holiness. These are people who talk about heaven. And I don't understand how you talk about heaven and you demonize somebody in order to appreciate your spiritual relevance. You see, people would envy, would jealous, or try to demonize another man of God. It is a symbol of their smallish mentality, or myopic, or microscopic, or pygmic mentality. Because when somebody begin to run down another prophet of God or man of God, just because you are not in the office of the man of God, is because you don't understand that we know in part, we prophesy in part. We know in part, we prophesy in part. So you must understand the dimension in which God has called you to come. For example, I have a program right now. I invited so many psalmists, just about praise of what God has done for me. The Lord has been so awesome to me. And there are some of the psalmists I invited. There's one of the psalmists, I'm just talking, one of the psalmists I invited that This person, she was so bold, she was excited to come. But because another man of God felt that she's not supposed to come to this, the man of God called her and pulled a call and said, look, if you come with disowning, we do this, we do that, we do that, we do that. And sometimes I ask myself, these are people who preach holiness. These are people who talk about righteousness. You can be crying and your tears is a fake tears. You can make an altar call, and the altar call you make for salvation is just an empty spiritual pride. Just to show people that you love souls, but you don't love souls. Because I used to tell somebody, if you feel that an altar is not godly, why don't you bring your Christ to that altar and cast the ungodliness from the altar? For the young generation who are coming up, being Christian comedian, Christian psalmists, gospel artists, don't allow any spiritual father to manipulate you against another spiritual father. Don't get involved in their political or religious politics. If a man of God is bitter with a man of God, leave him to be bitter. Don't get yourself involved. There is no way I can allow myself I love what Pastor Chris does. I have Eben coming from the Chris place. I have Moses Bliss that came from Pastor Chris. These children are raised by Pastor Chris, but they are everywhere taking the gospel. Once you are gifted as a child of God and your pastor begin to manipulate you not to go to other places to bless them, then there's something wrong with him. It is called the slave man mentality, the colonial mentality, where they feel threatened that you are going to other grace. You are not going for God's sake. You are not going to a witch doctor, to a native doctor. You are going to the house of God to minister the gospel. And somebody is manipulating. And this is all the bad bloods, jealousy, bitterness, the dimension where people are hot because they feel that they own God. Excuse me. God does not come from your village. God does not come from your village. God is not the property of any man of God. God does not come from your village. It's not the property of any man of God. So no matter how you do it, you cannot pocket God. I'm so happy that God does not come from Ekiti State. If God comes from the village of some people, I don't think some of us will be qualified to be here. I'm so excited that sometimes when I see some people who judge other men of God, they just talk. They say, why do you near this man of God? Don't near this man of God. Don't near. There are some people practicing what I call cultism in the body of Christ. We have a situation whereby you find out that there are some people who call themselves the word-based people, and then they form a clique and they say, nobody, you don't need to come through our clique because we feel that we are deputy gods. And so other people must not come in. This is the reason why the body of Christ have not been able to take a stand in Nigeria to be able to make a sentence that every other people from the other side will fear us. They know we are divided. And we do a lot of hypocrisy. We can lie down on our altar, pray and cry and worship and do all sort of trumpeting and keyboarding and wear white clothes, and yet our hearts are not white.
Alright, my family, there you have it with the man of God, my person of Prophet Joshua Iginla. Now guys, this is a very touching message, alright, and men of God needs to listen to this because it's very true. What this man of God is saying is very true. Alright, the fight between men of God, imagine a man of God stopping another maybe a music minister to go to another person's church because he doesn't like the pastor. All right, and you see, the problem is not about the members, but when a man of God does that, it's about what the members actually learn from him when he does that. You see, and that same character will be what the members is going to demonstrate. All right, so that's why I think that men of God should actually listen to what the man of God, Prophet Joshua Iginla, is trying to say today, because he's actually right. He's actually right, guys. So a lot of thought has been shared. Let me know in the comment section what you think about some of these thoughts shared by the man of God, Prophet Joshua Iginla. All right, so before you go, for those of you coming very newly to my channel, just kindly hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. And then if you have not liked the video up to this point, please hit the like button and then like today's video, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.